and go ahead and get started when you're ready.
I'd like to shout out to the School of Information as a founding sponsor of this conference. During this talk, I would ask that participants reserve their questions until the end of the presentation, or feel free to type any questions in the chat box and they'll be addressed at the end. Thank you. My name is Sara Whitaker. I am a library associate from Gwinnett County Public Library, and I'm thrilled to be here this afternoon talking about sustainability programs in public libraries. In this presentation, I'll be talking about creating in-branch programs for both adults and all ages and how we've adapted them to a virtual format. Gwinnett County Public Library serves a population of about 1 million people with 15 branches and roughly 300 members of staff. Now, the branch I work in has a very active teen population. When schools close, the teens flood the library. It's great. We have a bunch of programs for teens which are pretty well attended, but adults, not so much. We know they're coming to the library because we have the circulation stats for large print and for adult books, but they weren't coming to programs. So about 3 years ago, I reached out to a local senior club to tell them about book club, storytelling club, and computer programs for adults. But what did they want from their local library? What would they come to? And the number one thing they said they wanted from their library was crafts. Right. The craft industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and I don't want to spend any money. And in addition, I was thinking in terms of an educational program. Clearly, we had to come up with a strategy. I want an educational or informational part of the program. Looks like we're going to do a craft to get adults to come to the library. And you know what? If we're going to go to the trouble of making a craft, let's donate to the community. Let's give to people who have absolutely nothing. Trash. Trash is free. Everybody's got trash. Let's educate people that trash is a resource. Let's educate our customers that the way they shop and the way they discard their items can affect the environment, and explain why it makes a difference, not just reiterate, you have to recycle. So let's encourage modification of people's behaviour so that small changes are made, and multiply that by all libraries to affect nationwide change. And so we came up with the Decula Creative Corner for adults. This is a monthly programme, and it's no mistake it's held at 3 p.m. As we have a very lively teen population, wouldn't it be great if teens see the programme and say, "Oh, that's so cute, can I join?" "Oh, yes, please do take a seat and join us." And it works, well, depending on the craft. The informational section is very informal. It's not a lecture, and we're not just saying you have to recycle. It's about 5 or 6 slides where we talk about the environmental impact of the trash and some of the science of the breakdown of the material in the environment. We explain why it's so important to recycle effectively and what you can do. Now, it's important that the educational aspect is discussed at the beginning of the programme. Customers are excited to be doing a craft and learning something new. You have their attention. Don't try going over any facts during the craft. People are crafting and they'll not be paying attention. And forget it at the end. Don't try and summarize, because once that craft is done, they are out of the building. I send them an email list just before the program to remind them come next Monday and what they need to bring to personalize their items if they want to. Now, I've been doing these programs for many years, so I'm just going to give an example of one of the programs, and that's plastic bags. Over 100 billion plastic bags are used by Americans per year. This extrapolates to about 1,500 bags per family per year. And depending on the report you read, Americans recycle bags at about 1 to 10%. And when you throw away plastic bags, they don't actually go away. They end up in a landfill where they'll sit for decades before breaking down to microplastics. These microplastics, together with bags improperly disposed of, can contaminate our soil. Indeed, an estimated 1/3 of all plastic ends up in our waterways or soil. And inevitably, these microplastics will end up in our oceans, where we have really scary statistics, like 1 in 3 leatherback turtles have plastic in their stomachs. This is a crisis. So, what can we do? Stop using so many plastic bags. In Georgia, if you go shopping and buy 30 grocery items, you'll get 15 plastic bags. But countries like India, Korea, and the UK have enacted single-use plastic bag bans. People shop with reusable bags. It's a simple habit to adopt, and it's effective. Now, it's not all bad news in the USA. 9 states have now enacted some sort of plastic bag ban, but it's not nationwide and we have to do better. If you must use plastic bags, recycle. Now, what bags are we talking about? Bread bags, newspaper bags, the plastic around your bathroom tissue, the plastic around your kitchen towels. And if you're still buying plastic bottled water in cases, the plastic around the cases is recyclable. Now, how do you recycle? Don't put your plastic bags in curbside recycling in Gwinnett County. This blocks the recycling machinery in single-stream recycling industries. Put the bags in your car, so that next time you're at a hardware store, grocery store, or a mega superstore, you have them with you to drop in the recycle bags here bin. And don't make a special trip to recycle bags. Burning fuel lessens the impact of recycling. Now, what can you make with plastic bags? Well, you can make plastic bag yarn. You cut 1-inch wide loops in the bag and link them together to make plastic yarn, which can be knitted or crocheted. We chose to crochet as some people didn't know how and wanted to learn. We made mats 6 foot by 3 foot, and we donated them to people experiencing homelessness. It takes over 500 bags to make these mats, and once they're made, they are lightweight and easy to carry and made of plastic, so water repellent. The mat goes on the ground, blankets on top. The blankets stay drier and warmer and stay cleaner, so it's more hygienic. And here are some of the mats that we have made and donated. And talking of donations, here's a summary of some of the organisations we've donated to. In each programme, we talk about the resource, the environmental impact, emphasising how sustainability is important for many reasons, including environmental quality. We need clean air, natural resources, and a non-toxic environment, and then we make a craft and donate. So the North East Georgia Veterans Centre received 12 plan mats. Hope Assisted Living Facility for people with dementia received paper roses from discarded books, after we'd had a very lively discussion on the pros and cons of physical books versus ebooks and the environmental impact on both. The Veterans Rescue Centre in Lawrenceville received more of the plan mats. And after talking about the huge impact of t-shirts on our environment, how t-shirts and other clothing degrade anaerobically in landfills, releasing methane gas into our atmosphere, we cut up old t-shirts into t-shirt yarn and knitted them to make hats for Mending the Gap for seniors. And you know what? They came out really nice. After discussing global climate change and the increased demand for water and how the denim industry uses an estimated 7,000 litres of water to make one pair of jeans, We cut up old jeans and using library sewing machines made dog toys to donate to Gwinnett Animal Shelter. And then we had a marathon stitchathon for 3 days where people knit and sewed hats and scarves and leg warmers, which together with handwritten letters we sent to deployed soldiers overseas with Operation Gratitude. And then 2020 happened with no more in-branch programs. So I sent an email to my regular customers. What interest would there be in a live virtual program through Google Meet? I got sufficient interest to make it worthwhile, but the customers said they did not know how to join virtually. So I sent Google Meet instructions with screenshots how to join a meet, but an email with a click on this link here worked best. Now, not all seniors are computer challenged, but some of the customers have shaky computer skills. And after many emails, I picked up the phone and walked one lady on how to get through because she said her computer hated her and she wasn't sure that she had a camera on it. So we celebrated when she did connect because this was a big learning achievement, overcoming the hurdle of technology and being able to join the group. Now, I'll admit, I was somewhat intimidated by the idea of this program. I mean, when people are crafting, they don't talk very much. And what if we're all sitting looking at the computers and nobody says anything? I mean, how awkward will that be? This could be seriously uncomfortable. But it was worth giving it a try. I mean, I had my contact list already, so I sent an email ahead of time. I sent a list of supplies that participants would need to have ready for the program. I kept the format the same, once a month, with about 5 slides, which I screen shared, talking about the impact COVID-19 has had on recycling and progress made in the recycling industry, trying for something positive. I also shared library resources and walked them through our digital database, for example, how you can see short programs on relaxation techniques and meditation through lynda.com. And for the first month, we did something very simple. We just did a mandala or meditation stones. Now, everyone in this group is crafty, so I did not need to worry about them having to go and get anything. And of course, the program's about reusing materials. I made an active decision to keep the camera on me so that I could see the customers' faces and their reactions, and I was able to interact with them rather than just have the camera showing my hands. But as I described how you do a mandala stone by starting off doing 4 paint dots in the form of a cross and the importance of symmetry when you expand the pattern, and everybody looked totally blank until I held up the stone to the computer camera so they could see what I was talking about, and then they understood. Yes, I'll admit it was a bit awkward, but it worked. And yes, as we did the craft, no one talked. All you could hear was the tinkle of the paintbrush being washed or the occasional muttered, darn, when something went wrong. But it was not uncomfortable. It was companionable. And here are some of the stones, all practice mandalas from that program. And the emails I received afterwards, how lovely it had been to meet in a safe way and do something new and make new friends, just be with different people. These customers have been in isolation since March, and some are very lonely or just plain bored. And so the emphasis of these virtual programs, while still focused on education and doing a craft, is really about connecting with our customers, making people feel good and less isolated during these difficult times. World Ocean Day. June the 8th is celebrated internationally. In Decula, we have a huge in-branch annual program with the intention of educating people about marine life and different parts of the ocean and problems we're encountering due to pollution. It's intended to be a hands-on activity-based educational program for all ages with lots of different activities throughout the library and decorations of marine animals made of trash. Our plastic bag jellyfish are actually quite attractive. Here is a picture of a life-size blue whale tail drawn on the floor of the children's area, and it's fun to see how many kids can ride the blue whale tail. In the centre of the library is an enormous pile of trash. We also have large cardboard boxes labelled plastic bags, polystyrene, plastics, ones or two, milk jugs or soda bottles, and it's a game. You have to sort the trash as quickly as possible into the different categories while being timed. It's really fun, and kids come back over and over to do it. Oh, and the trash has been washed. We don't expect children to play with filthy trash at the library. Because there are so many stations, you're given a passport so that for each activity you complete, you get a sticker or a stamp. And when your passport is filled, you can go to get a marine-themed button with our popular button maker. And here is a blue whale rib cage made of plastic milk jugs. It's not the size, it's not big enough, but it's how much room I had. And you have to pass through the belly of the beast to get into the children's area. In the children's area is a plastic paddling pool, and it's filled with trash. So as people walk by, they ask, well, what's that supposed to be? And it represents the giant Pacific garbage patch. It's the size of Texas or twice the size of France. And it's an opportunity to discuss plastics that end up as ocean debris, which contribute to habitat destruction and entangle and kill thousands of marine animals each year. One, and now we have many, Pacific garbage patch, is the size of Texas or twice the size of France. At the fish DVD station, participants decorate DVDs with paper fins and coloured pens, and it's an opportunity to discuss DVD decomposition in landfills. How long does it take for DVDs to break down? Is it 2 years or 8 years? Try 2,000 years. The plan making station teaches families to make plastic bag plan, and it's fun for children, teens and adults. The trash treasure hunt has clues throughout the library to encourage participants to explore the entire branch for information about ocean pollution, trash and recycling. Now, a few years back I was taking my household trash to a recycle drop-off centre, and I asked the gentleman at the gate if he'd come to the library and teach us about recycling in Gwinnett. He said no, and I would have to talk to his supervisor. So I got the contact name and phone number and email, and I reached out several times and got no response. So back to Google, looking at recycling centres in Gwinnett, and came across GwinnettRecycles.com. I spoke to the website founder, Laura Hernandez, who was very pleased to be asked to come to the library, and she gave a talk on how to keep up to 80% of household waste out of landfills. Now, of course, in 2020, it's no longer possible to do in-branch high-touch learning programs, but our customers expect a big program, as Decula has been doing these for several years. So we decided to go virtual with a pre-recorded virtual World Ocean Awareness program. We created 4 pre-recorded videos consisting of a different area of the sea. We discussed the marine animals there, challenges from pollution, links to library resources for further reading and DVDs in our collection. And we show how to make a craft for children from trash they would have in their home. And we cover a different aspect of recycling in bite-sized pieces from Laura Hernandez, who very kindly agreed to partner with us with these pre-recorded programs. Here are the links to the World Ocean Awareness Month program videos. Week 1, we discussed the sunlight zone and how to be a great curbside recycler. Week 2 is coral reefs and gives information on free drop-off and mail-in recycling. Week 3 is the abyss and 10 easy ways to use less plastic. And week week 4 covers the ocean, sea and composting, and we had over 600 combined views of the 4 videos. In addition, we linked these videos to our summer reading and Beanstack with a World Ocean Awareness badge. We had 28 kids' badges completed and 23 teens, so a total of 51 participants. Now, at our branch, we have a very small garden where I keep a little compost heap. It's a useful tool to educate customers of all ages about composting. Inevitably, somebody will always ask, well, aren't they smelly? So I can point out that they're actually sitting in a chair 2 feet away from the heap, and it's not smelly at all when properly maintained. Now, I've mentioned the teens at our branch. They've been at school since 7:10 in the morning, and some stay as late as 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night, and they're starving. Sometimes they'll order pizza, and as long as they clean up, we don't have a problem with it. Now, when they are cleaning up, I'll have a chat with them, educating teens about pizza boxes and cardboard recycling. Pizza boxes, of course, cannot be recycled, but they can go in the compost heap, and I take them out to the heap and tell them to put the boxes on the heap. Well, they look at me as if I'm mad, but they do it, and the physical action of putting the box on the compost heap will help them remember that pizza boxes are biodegradable and can be composted. In summary, we are doing programs educating about sustainability, and we've been attracting adults to our branch for these programs. Indeed, one customer comes from over 25 miles away. We educate our customers about library resources like the Learning Labs, lynda.com, and show people how to get onto these resources through a virtual setting. We teach customers skills they want to learn, like how to use a library sewing machine and how to crochet or how to knit. We see teens, adults, and seniors sit down together. They have a conversation, they share resources. Yes, we make crafts, but we do it on a shoestring budget, and we also donate to the community. And talking of community, we are keeping in touch with isolated, lonely people by taking library to them. And finally, by doing educational and fun programs like these, we can encourage modifications of people's behaviour so that small changes are made. Now, multiply that by all libraries that put on programs of this sort, and libraries really can make a difference about the future health of our planet. I would be very happy to answer any questions right now. Or if you'd like to contact me, oh Lord, I missed the slide. Beg your pardon, let me go back and share the last slide. If you'd like to contact me, I'm s.whitaker@gwinnettpl.org, and thank you very much for your attendance and your attention.
Mute. I have been putting this off for weeks, months.
I know, I do this one.
I'm going to open up chat. We seem to have quite a lot of...
So I'm calling from Great Neck Library. We have a professional disc repair machine here, and it appears that the fluid isn't making it to the disc. And we've
I had a question here. How to get materials to customers while the library is closed. We did actually a crafty bags drop off. We've been doing curbside pickup for reserved items from the library collection. And so I let my customers know ahead of time, if you need dog food bags, I've got several, I've collected them. And so they were able to come and pick them up just like curbside recycling, letting me know ahead of time that they would need one. But most of the stuff that I use for these programs are things that you would already have. So we're using milk jugs, or we're using old yarn, or we're using old soda bottles that you've used and washed. So really a lot of these things people have already got, and we use them as a resource. Oh yes, I will, this meeting has been recorded, so the contact information will be available in the recording. But yes, if you'd like me to share that again, I will attempt to share my screen with the contact information again. If there are any other questions, can you let me know now, or I think that'd be the end of our session. Okay, I'm going to leave the meeting now. Thank you very much for joining.